help small businesses. I help them employ people. I help them find dollars. I help them understand the regulations. I help them locate access to capital. I help them with job fairs. We are doing things in this valley. We cover a 6-county region, our chamber does. So we help put people to work. That's what we do. And I don't just give it lip service. We actually do it. You know, that's a big difference between me and others, is we run the largest job fair in the whole region. 12,000 people come to our job fair. 1,300 of them leave with jobs. And we've been doing that for 7 years. We work with the Department of Social Services and also the Economic Development Corporation serving Fresno County. I have a 10-year career in the insurance and financial services business, so I know exactly. In that position, I dealt directly with business owners. I was in charge of West Region Verification Validation, entire Western U.S., 6 states. I dealt directly with the business owners. I helped them meet their needs, but at the same time, I had to enforce the insurance policy, obviously. I think you as insurance underwriters here understand that. And also I spent time as a financial advisor for Prudential Financial, so I know how to plan for people retirement. And what I want to point out too is that I'm the kind of guy who will stand up and fight and really make things a better place to live and work. I don't plan on spending a lot of time in Washington. If you want someone who's in the Washington bubble, I'm not your man. If you want someone who's here in the Valley working, trying to get this district, the worst in the United States of America, highest poverty, highest dropout rates, then you've got to send me to Congress. Fundamentally, I'm a completely different person than David. What I mean by that is, David is a businessman, I understand that, but I sure would like to be in his business. You know, he gets $800 million in subsidies. He's got, $800,000 in subsidies to being in the dairy business. He doesn't have to compete on the free market like I do in my chamber, what I do in one of the small businesses I represent and you represent. I'm a free market man. I deal in the free market. Our businesses deal in the free market. And you know what? I want free market jobs in this market. We got high-speed rail on the track here. $6 billion. A lot of good paying middle-class jobs there. A lot of small business opportunities there too. A lot of small business contracts. A lot of opportunities for small businesses to get ahead, to get contracts. Hotels filling up. Restaurants filling up. And that's going to help us climb out of this hole that we're in right now. Those trade policies we've signed with the WTO, also NAFTA and others, have let American manufacturing down. We cannot produce the kind of steel that we need to produce here. I want that steel in America. That's what I want. Unfortunately, we have had a net loss of manufacturing jobs over the years. We've gained a few back, but we're not nowhere near where we need to be. We need to do more manufacturing here. And that's another thing that I see as a problem with the 21st District. It's very challenged economically. And we ship all of our raw products, whether that be corn, whether that be lettuce, tomatoes, all these things, they're being shipped. We just had another Del Monte plant close in Kingsburg. And it's unfortunate. And you know what it did? It also had a mushroom effect. It closed the next one, the cannery right next to it. And they're moving out of the area. These are problems. So we've got to control how we spend our money. And we've got to send the message to those who are the big conglomerates and those that are taking their manufacturing out of the valley. We've got to tell them we want them in the valley. I think the corporate tax rate is high. I think it's at 35 right now. And I do support lowering it to 28%. I think that's going to help stir more jobs and more opportunities here in California. I'm really concerned about California. Sure, I'm going to U.S. Congress and it's U.S. policy, but I'm really going to be focusing on this valley. That's what I'm going to be focusing on. You're going to see me. You're going to see me in and around. I'm going to be here. We've been spending too much money on other countries, building their infrastructure, building their bridges, putting security forces, training their folks. You know, it's about time we bring our troops home. Our troops need to be here with us. We need to put them to work. And we need to make an economy and focus on our economy and build our infrastructure and build our schools and build our education and build our security, not some other countries. I do believe the Middle East situation is a very, very sensitive one, and that is a foreign policy issue. I have a lot of background in that. I've done a lot of studying. I have a degree in history, actually. And the Middle East is a complex tinderbox, is the only way to put it. You know, it is very, very complex, and there are so many fulcrums in there, but we need to remember that we only have one or two allies in that whole region, and that one ally is Israel. We need to defend Israel. We need to make sure that they are protected. A strong border policy needs to be in effect, and then we need to look at the needs of our agriculture industry, but also, most importantly, we need to look at some of these young people, these students. I strongly support the DREAM Act. These young kids were not here through any fault of their own, but they've gone to school, they stayed out of trouble, they've gotten high grades, and they deserve a chance to go to school. Not a special chance, not a special low rate, just the average rate that other students get to go to school. And I think it's very, very important that this deferred action policy be well regulated and also work at the optimal level. Matter of fact, at the Chamber, Central California Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, we're working very closely with the Mexican consulate. It's another thing that I bring. I bring international experience to this realm because I have dealt with the foreign governments, and I've dealt very closely with the nation of Mexico. And what we need to do is we need to make sure that there is no abuse of the system. I'm not asking for your vote because I am the best qualified person to lead the 21st Congressional District, and I will bring real change. I will not live in the bubble. I will live among you where I belong. Thank you.
Let's keep joining us.